This new facility that we have, the Realistic Fire Training Building, will allow us to achieve a lot of the brigade's objectives in terms of providing realistic scenario training for all our firefighters. From those who join as new recruits to firefighters who are developing throughout their career. Before we had this building, we had a metal structure on this site that achieved some of our goals but was very limited, particularly in terms of the number of scenarios and the variety of training that we could do. This building is going to obviously allow us to do all those other functions, and the beauty of it is that we're also going to be able to do all this different type of training on site, whereas in the past we've often had to travel to different sites throughout the county, which has meant that we've had to spend a lot of time travelling instead of training. Carbonaceous training is vital for us as an organisation, specifically because we need to give firefighters realistic training in all the kind of different risks that they will face. As we move to a society whereby fire safety and community safety becomes more relevant, then our firefighters are not getting the depth of experience out there on the fireground. So that makes it all the more important that they can get that experience through the training. We can achieve an awful lot more in terms of realism for firefighters in a training scenario using carbonaceous burns. The gas burns that we have are perfect in the sense that we can replicate scenarios very quickly, and it gives obviously a relatively clean type of burn. But the carbonaceous burn simulates reality, and obviously by putting firefighters into that environment, they're going to be much more able to deal with a realistic scenario on the fireground. Carbonaceous burns also allow us to develop better techniques for firefighting in terms of water application, methods of firefighting, etc. Part of the ethos that we try to get through to our firefighters is to read what a fire's telling us before we actually go into that compartment. So for example, we will teach firefighters to do gas cooling before they enter a compartment. So they will paint the door, as we call it, whereby they'll apply small amounts of water to the door of a compartment. That will give them an idea of where that neutral plane is within the compartment. Generally speaking, the lower the neutral plane, the further down the door that is, the more the risk when you open that door. We'll then put our firefighters in a position whereby they will open the door, put a small amount of water into the compartment, gas cooling, and that in turn shrinks back the fire gases and creates a more safe environment for firefighters to enter. Once they're happy that they've minimised the risk to themselves, that's when they'll enter the compartment. They'll move through that compartment doing continuous gas cooling and gas zoning, which will again reduce those fire gases. When they're happy that they've created a safer environment, they will then tackle the fire directly to extinguish it. The instructors are really looking forward to using this facility because it's going to provide us with a wealth of scenarios and training opportunities for giving firefighters realistic training. In particular, the carbonaceous burn is going to allow us to repeat that exercise over and over, and the fact that the carbonaceous burn incorporates a gas burn means that we can repeat this facility over and over at the touch of a button. The fact that we can replicate this training in the carbonaceous burn over and over means that we've got less downtime. It means that we can get more students through that scenario in one session. Obviously there's a lot of health and safety in there, so for example the crib, if we had an issue in there, the instructors only got to hit the emergency button, all the lights come on, the vents come on, the building's instantly ventilated. And then on top of that, this crib also has an extra safety feature in the sense that it can extinguish itself. So we don't even have to worry about putting the fire out. If we need to get crews out in a rush, we can just evacuate the building and we know that everything's going to be safe.